welcome to my top 5 riffs that make me grimace with joyful disgust. Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea. I hope you're all well. So I'm trialling a new series on my channel. I thought about it the other day and I think it's really cool. I'm really excited about it. I'm just going to share with you riffs in groups of 5 that have different purposes, that give me different feelings and all that kind of stuff. And I'm starting with riffs that give me that face that happens when you hear something so filthy that you just have to be like, it's disgusting, but in a joyful way. The music, do you know what I mean? I'm sure you guys know what I mean. For me, when I'm playing guitar, usually it happens with like fuzz and octave and reverb and just gain and everything. So this is my top 5 riffs that make me do that. There's going to be plenty more videos if you guys like this type of content where I'm sharing with you riffs that, you know, serve different purposes, and I'll come up with cool titles as I go, but for this one we're looking at the heavy stuff. So in terms of gear that I use to create these demos, for guitars and bass I used the trusty Neural DSP Quad Cortex because it was way easier and quicker to just dial in presets for each song, so that was really great. In terms of drums, I use my Roland TD50 KV electric drum kit, and that is synced up with the GGD One Kit Wonders Aggressive Rock. When I say heavy, I don't necessarily mean the heaviest, sludgiest, heaviest metal. I'm talking about groovy stuff, like really attitudey, groovy, sort of slower stuff that, you know, sounds fat and, you know, that kind of thing. And it could be from all different decades, you know, just riffs that I like that do that for me. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so riff number 5 is by a band that you may or may not have heard of, called Tiger Cub. In fact, the bass player is actually a really good friend of mine. He works down with Hannah at Brighton Electric Studios, and he's such a legend. And yeah, basically, I heard this riff on their last album that came out last year, I think, and it absolutely floored me when it kicked in. So I figured I would share that with you, so check it out. So there you go, that was Sleepwalker by Tiger Cub. I hope you dig it. If you want to check it out, I'll put a link in the description box. And it's also worth mentioning that they're going on tour with Clutch in March this year, 2022. So if you're interested in checking them out, I suggest you grab a ticket. Riff number 4 is by a band that I suppose I would consider a big influence in a way, like especially the guitar player. I've been listening to them since I can, you know, maybe 99, something like that. But in any case, this is off the new album. Again, this one came out, I think, just at the end of last year. So if you haven't heard it, I suppose you should check it out because it is pretty good. And this particular riff is absolutely brutal. So there you go, that was Limp Bizkit with Out of Style. And the reason I really like this riff in particular is because it applies so many different sort of whammy techniques to get the sound. It's kind of chaotic and staccato, and you're just making the guitar wail in this kind of weird, disgusting way. And when it kicked in, that's why I grimaced with joyful disgust. Next in, riff number 3 is by probably one of my favourite bands. And when I discovered these guys about 2003 maybe, it was huge news when they came out, and it was an awesome album that dropped. Absolutely ridiculously good album, and I still listen to it to this day. The cool thing with this riff is it's just straight up kind of hard rock, pentatonic-y, groovy stuff. So anyway, check it out. Of course, it is the awesome Audioslave. I'm sure you've all heard who Audioslave are. And of course, the late, great Chris Cornell fronting that band. And it's the band from Rage Against the Machine. They came together and created this incredible album. Anyway, you know the story. That riff in particular definitely got me doing that. Okay, so now we're down to the last two, and this one, it was really hard not to put this one at number one, because every single time I listen to it, I cannot help myself. I have to just pull a face because it's just so disgusting. And I was asking my mates about riffs to do for this series. Every single one of them, without fail, put this song down. So anyway, check it out. Yes, that was Demiurge from the album Kolos by Massaad, and it is an absolutely disgusting album. It's my favourite by far of all the Massaad albums. I discovered those guys through Ben in, I think it was about 2007, and he gave me the album Nothing with Stenger that came on. I think Stenger comes on first, or Rational Gate. I think it's Stenger. Anyway, absolutely blew my face off, and I'd never heard anything like it. And of course, needless to say, Massaad are the pioneers of a sound that we all know and love if we like heavy technical music, but they do it so good. In fact, they're just the best at doing it. In any case, that was Massaad Demiurge. Okay, so in at number one. Now, hopefully you'll agree with me this was the right choice. It was actually really difficult at first, but I'm pretty happy with my choices. This is my top riff that make me grimace with joyful disgust. And what can I say about this band? Absolutely huge influence, especially the guitar player. Every single album I enjoy listening to. Thank you to Dave Hollingworth that got me into these guys back in 2006 maybe, and ever since I've just held them so high up for the riffs and the playing and just the sheer brutality that they do so well in their music. So anyway, here we go. So there you go, the mighty Pantera, and of course Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul, both of them rest in peace. Dime is a huge influence on me. I got so heavily into his playing as a young guitarist, and what can I say? It would have also been rude not to use this guitar, because let's face it, it's such a badass guitar. I got this from Leo for my 30th birthday, and I've been meaning to get it out for a reason, and I figured that was definitely a good reason. So I'm sure most of you, if not all of you watching this video, know who that was, but in case you don't, that is Pantera, and the song is I'm Broken off the album Far Beyond Driven, and it's such a bad man tune. I absolutely love that. The breakdown is so filthy, and that is the point where I was just like unable to hold it in any longer. I remember seeing that on MTV when I was really young, actually. The video stuck out, but anyway, there you go, that was Pantera. Well, there you go, that about wraps up the first episode in a new series I'm hoping to bring to my channel, which essentially is me sharing riffs with you guys. I mean, what's not to like about that? It should be fun. And that was top 5 riffs that make me grimace with joyful disgust. As I say, I'll be doing 5 riffs in all sorts of different styles over the, provided you guys like this content, I'll be doing it continuously because it's loads of fun, and I had a great time playing the drums and bass in and getting, obviously I can't mix it exactly like the records, but it's fun to try and mess around a little bit in that world. So I had a great time making this video, so hopefully you guys liked it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and of course I'll link all the bands and those songs in the description box. But until next time, like, subscribe and share. I've been Rabea, and I'll see you all very soon.